Mushrooms and spinach. Those are two of my favorite ingredients, and we're going to use both of them in the recipe today. In fact, that basically is the recipe. So I've got 2 tablespoons of vegetable oil, and you can use whichever kind you have. And then I have a pound of mushrooms. These are just supermarket mushrooms, the button mushrooms. You could use other varieties if you had them. If you're starting fresh, you can clean them and slice them. They don't have to be super thin. They're going to cook for a little bit. I think our oil is probably warm enough. We'll give it a test shot. We're going to put these in sliced. And I just want to level them out a little bit. I don't even want to stir them at this point. You'll notice how full the pan is, and it's gradually, because the mushrooms have a fair amount of water in them, they're going to start to collapse, and we're going to get closer and closer to one layer. But I just want to let them cook just like this for about 2 minutes, and then we'll start to stir. Hopefully we'll start to see, oh yeah, these are starting to get a wonderful golden brown color on the bottom, and that's what we're going for. So we're going to kind of stir them a little bit more often now. Try to get some of those that were on the top so they're down to the bottom so that they can all get some of that gorgeous color. You get a massively terrific flavor coming off them, or aroma. Makes you really anxious for the whole dish to be ready. We're going to continue doing this for about 5 minutes. You don't have to stir them constantly. Again, just shake them, make sure they're making contact with the pan, and come back and stir them every minute or so. Okay, we're going to add a little bit more oil. I've got 1½ teaspoons of more oil to add to this. And then 2 cloves of garlic and a ½ cup of onion. Now, I cut the onion and the garlic fairly finely. I tried to mince both of them. But again, these are kinds of decisions that you make when you go through the process. We're going to stir those together. And we want this to cook until the onion has gotten a little bit soft. So somewhere between 1 and 3 minutes, depending on how hot your heat is. Don't have to, again, stir it constantly, but do stir it once in a while to make sure that nothing's getting too dark on the bottom. Okay, the onion has gotten to where I like it to be, so we're going to add somewhere between 4 to 5 cups of spinach, and then about 1/4 teaspoon of salt. And you may want to wait until everything is done to add the salt and see how much you need, and about the same amount of pepper. The reason being, we're just going to cook this until the spinach has wilted. So I'm going to switch to tongs and see if I can make it behave this way and flip it over. The reason being that you don't want to add a lot of salt is because the mushrooms themselves have glutamate in them, natural form, as opposed to the MSG that we sometimes associate with Chinese food and so on. And it has that ability to enhance the flavors that are there, so that the saltiness that's in the food itself, combining with that glutamate, may make this food flavorful enough that you don't feel you need anything in addition to it. As I said, this just needs to be cooked until it's wilted, and you get to make the decision as when it's wilted, and for me, that's good enough. So I'm taking it off the heat. We'll serve it up. This makes about 4 servings, so we'll serve part of it up here, so you can get a feel for what it looks like. And there you have it. It's fairly easy to do. It uses some of the things out of your early spring garden when you're looking at the spinach. It's mushrooms and spinach. I hope you'll give it a try. For Oklahoma Gardening, I'm Barbara Brown.
We hope you enjoyed this video. It's part of our Oklahoma Gardening YouTube channel. You can also find even more videos on our OK Gardening Classics YouTube channel. And join us on social media for great gardening tips, photos, and discussion.